You want grace? Well, ask God, maybe he'll give it to you. And the theologian will tell you, yes, God gives his grace freely. He gives it to all because he loves all. It's here like the air. All you have to do is receive it. Or a more orthodox, a Catholic Christian would say, all you have to do is to be baptized, to take the holy sacrament of the altar, the bread and wine, the body and blood of Christ, and there is the grace right there. And it's given by these simple physical means so that it's very easily and readily available. Well, a lot of people got baptized. And it doesn't always take. People fall from grace. Why do they? You see, we're just talking about the same old problem, but we've put it a step up. But it's the same problem. How can I improve myself? Was the first problem. The second problem is, do you want grace? Do you want grace? Do you want grace? Do you want grace? How can I accept grace? They're both the same problem. Because you got to make a move, which will put yourself out of your own control into the control of a better. If you don't believe in the Christian kind of a God, you can believe in the Hindu kind of a God, who is your inner self. You see, you've got a lower self, which you can call your ego. That's that little scoundrelous fellow. It's always out for me. But behind the ego, there is the Atman, the inner self, the inward light, as Quakers would call it, the real self, the spirit, which is substantially identical with God. So you've got to meditate in such a way that you identify with your higher self. How do you do that? Well, you start by watching all your thoughts very carefully, watching your feelings, watching your emotions, so that you begin to build up a sense of separation between the watcher and what is watched. Do you want grace? Do you want grace? Do you want grace? Do you want grace? As it were, no longer carried away by your own stream of consciousness. You remain the witness, impassively, impartially, suspending judgment and watching it all go on. That seems to be something like progress. At least you're taking an objective view of what is going on. Of what is going on. You are beginning to be in a position to control it. But just wait a minute. Who is this self behind the self? The watching self. Can you watch that one? It's interesting if you do. Because you find out, of course, that this is just as the problem of grace is nothing more than a transposition of the first problem. How am I to be unselfish?
afternoon. My throat broke there. I have been smacking my driveway for 2 hours. And I look at it after I'm done, and it doesn't even feel like there's a dent. But I got my car in the driveway. So, I mean, there's probably some way I could show you. But last night I got home, and I tried to pull in my driveway, and it was just not happening. And then I started sliding backwards, slam my foot on the brake, and just pray. Just like, if I hit this car, I'm done. Because once again, I told you, my neighbor parked his car on the side of the road like an idiot. So I'm sliding backwards. One of two options. I'm either going to go in this ditch or I'm going to hit this car. Thankfully, neither happened. And I got out and I looked at my car and I said, I'm far enough out of the road. I'm just going to leave it here. And that's what I did. So this morning, I found like a metal mallet and just started breaking away the ice. And I am back in my driveway. Now, like, that's the first of many problems. Because I drove up the road a little bit. And VDOT is now in my neighborhood because everyone around me drives like an idiot. And there's people that are just parked, I'm not even joking, in the middle of the road. When I got home last night, I had to like go around this car. I'm guessing he got stuck and just said screw it, and he said I'm gonna go to bed. And he's in the middle of the road. So I hope I don't miss work today. Hopefully they have all that stuff cleared out by the time I am on my way. Otherwise, I'm gonna have some explaining to do. I already texted my boss and I told him like, hey, I'll keep you updated, blah blah blah. And the response was, let's see. He said, keep me updated. Reminder, this is a manager shift and not a to-go shift. I'm like, I know. Like, you don't think I want to be there? I get a free meal and higher pay. Be there if I can. So, Sky Knight, you are starting to be built different. The fact that you are almost waiting for the notification. Zero Reach, let's go. How you doing? Drewski Man, what's going on? He said, where's the dog at? You can't really see him. He's just kind of curled up like a cinnamon roll. But there you go. Nature's Game, he said, sup everyone, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Polo, what's going on? Tisha said, welcome back again. How's your chick? Why are you so concerned? Ruben, sips tea, but how you doing, Pratish? We love Pratish. Ruben, sips tea. Did you answer yesterday? What kind of tea? What kind of tea were you sipping on? Is it different from yesterday, or was it the same? You gotta change it up. Tron, jump out with the dog. Just take them. All right, I'll sell them. We'll start a bidding war for fish. Now, it's only for 72 hours. And then I get him back. All right. He's my boy. Tron, he said, it's a GOB. Yeah, I wish I didn't live so far from my job, but it is what it is. I like the job. I like the people there. And to be honest, it's, to me, when I worked in the past, it was about the same distance. So I'm kind of used to it. And I like just listening to music, just driving. Wiley Coyote. Yo, yo, yo. What's going on? Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you might be. So our thoughts from yesterday did align with what happened in the market. We did talk about how on the smaller time frames we did have sort of an ABC position that would be resulting possibly in a retest of the range. Now, we could just come back up to this local high here at about 91, 131. get a rejection, and then continuation down. Or we can continue to build out the structure. And if that happens, it does start to look more likely that we would get something similar to what I've drawn here. That's not what I'm personally hoping for. I much rather us go back down and retest 76,000 before any continuation to the upside. Obviously, that would give us the macro long position, the hedge. And then from there, we can kind of work our way better through the market. We would have a short open, we have a long open. And either way it would go, fantastic. Me personally, I'm just not going to be taking longs off of these really short time frames. So if we do get the structure that I have drawn out, that's a different story. But the one that we are currently kind of working within, that's a little bit too small for me to say I want to take a hedge on that. Because then where does it end? All right. Now, technically, I mean, we are within a range. We can go all the way up to the top if we wanted to. We can go all the way back up to 94,000 to 98,000. Very clear and very easily. And we don't necessarily have to get a three-part structure. We have an ABC. So if we really wanted to, this wave could just extend and then we could get a little bit larger ABC short position. Would it be preferable? No. I mean, I got stopped out once or twice already, but if this in that statement, if that is created, I will take that short position because I am still macro bearish in some sense, you know, within reason. You know, I don't want to piss anybody off when I say, like, you know, I think we're going down to 50K with the possibility of even like the mid 30s. That's much further away, but I think 76,000 is fair and square to talk about in terms of the possibility of going down. Yeah, let's check out. I'm actually curious with silver because I did think about going and stopping by the pawn shop here, seeing if I can make a little bit of money on some of these coins I have. So, does anybody have any experience with that? Because I've been to a pawn shop once, and I feel like they gave me a great deal, but that's because they knew me. If I go to a random pawn shop, what are they likely to give me for a silver dollar? Because as far as I know, it's 90% silver. And it's pretty much mint condition. These things haven't been circulated. So if the spot price is 113, how much do you think they'll give me? Like 70 bucks per coin? I would hope so. Because 90% of 113 would be close to, you know, like $90, $95. So if I go in there asking for 70, you think they'll give me that? Or you think they're gonna cheap out on me? Well, I can't get spot price at a pawn shop. And, you know, these things are 90% silver. They still have to melt it down, all that stuff. There is a process to it. So, like, I'm not going to be ignorant and say, like, you know, I want 113 for each of these coins I give you. But it would be nice to... Right, not a pawn shop. Online, gold place, or jewelry store only. ChatGPT info. Huh. Let me do a quick little Google search. So, a jewelry store? Well, I have plenty of Mishi. I have plenty of these silver dollars, but it would be nice to have a little bit more cash on the hand. 15 under spot. You think that's what a pawn shop would give me? Raj, what's going on? He said, "Hey Kite, good morning. Good morning to you. How you doing?" He said, "Keep it for the fiat collapse." I mean, people have been doing that for centuries. Hasn't happened yet. I got Bitcoin for the fiat collapse. Having a bunch of physical coins. Not I want to keep most of them because they're good memory. Maybe sometime this week I'll go check it out. See what prices they would give me. Because I mean, I don't have to sell it. I can walk in there and ask them what they're willing to give me. If I don't like it, I'll walk out. I don't like wasting time. Are the dollars an ounce of silver? I believe so, right? It's how much silver is in a Morgan dollar? Is this a Morgan dollar? Is that what this is? I don't think this is a Morgan dollar. I think this is just a silver dollar. 2018. Yeah, so it says United States of America, 1 ounce fine silver, $1. So it's actually exactly 1 ounce, or at least should be, according to that. So yeah, they should give me pretty much almost exactly spot price. I mean, if I can get $100 for each of these, just these 3 right here, that's $300. Kind of nuts. You can like pinch it, and that's $300 worth right there. That online is better like JM Bullion? Then I gotta wait for them to like buy it. So, sell to us. Sell to us online. 1 ounce. Oh, $102. Hey, not too bad. Not too shabby. Man, I wish I had some of these things. Oh, that would be nice. 1 ounce. Gold dollar. Gold eagle coin. That would be nice. No, these are the ones I have right here. I have an entire bag of these. I don't have them with me. I only have 3 of them with me. But we'll have some. I feel like I had a little bit. Little pouch went. They buy gold quarters. Got a bunch of gold quarters. They're probably just plated gold. It's not even worth actually selling. Is they not have them? I feel like they're just novelty items. Yeah, it's a gold quarter dollar. Like those are worth nothing. I also have a bag of those. Hey, Bitcoin. Pretty sick. Pretty sick. That I'm too attached to my silver loot. Yeah, I get that. I get that. That'd be a good chunk of change to have at this point in time. With bank accounts looking. How that suture is doing. I didn't take it myself, but someone pointed it out. Good. Ooh, man. Love to see it. Hey, Kite. When do you think /feel will get the rotation from gold to Bitcoin soon here, eh? I mean, could it happen? Yeah. To me, the Bitcoin market works in its own cycles. I don't think it needs to be attached to gold or silver or anything like that. It doesn't need to be attached to anything. So I still think that we are going to be going down. At what pace? Who knows? If you want it to happen faster or later, that's your personal opinion. But until we get some sort of nice bullish structure, I can't call any sort of bottom. We don't have that. We don't. We haven't even tested 76,000. If we can get down to 76,000, we can form that macro ABC and we get back above it, we can start talking about being bullish again. My personal opinion would be still it would just be for kind of like a larger retest to the upside, but with a still macro intention of moving to the downside down to the 50s. But at least we can start giving it momentum of thought in that direction. But as of right now, I don't really think Bitcoin is primed and ready to go. It's not even close. I'm not the YouTuber that's going to sit here and tell you that's going to go to $200,000 within the year. To me, it's not. It's not going to be there. And that's just the truth. And I don't know why you would want it to. There's so much money to be made on the ranges, on that back and forth price action. Why do you want it to just shoot up? You know? Oh, Rob, grandma's coins, keep yours. To be fair, I'm going to my grandfather's funeral tomorrow. Don't know how I'm going to react, to be honest with you. With my last granddad's funeral, I was completely fine. And then I got there, and you see him in the casket, and it really sets in. That sucks. We talked about that, maybe a week or two ago, but so I'm not gonna spend too much time on it. But a lot of the silver coins that I got were from him. So he gave me a big bag. He said, "Do what you want with it." And this was a very long time ago. This was back when silver was, I think, $40. So it had to have been like 2021, maybe. Let's see when. Well, I guess yeah. Silver's been kind of hovering around. Break out the chart here. Yeah, because I remember it was on. No. It had to have been right here. Somewhere in this region. So yeah, it wasn't exactly $40, but I remember it being on a pretty decent uptrend at the time. Yeah. Look at that ABC inverse head and shoulders right there. You see that? ABC. Created that support region. We got above it. Held to the support. Took off from there. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what that whole situation is going to be like. I know there's. I hate even thinking about money when it comes to those things, but something I do want. It's not money. No, we'll see. That Grammy didn't leave me jack. My grandma could probably leave me something. Can't tell that information on live stream. Did start here. We miss them because they're gone, but they go to a better place. Yeah, so with grandparents, I'm very upset that they're gone, but it's a much different feeling than someone that dies early. When someone dies early, it's such a just bitter, just oh. At least with a grandparent, like they lived full life, and it wasn't always a sad ending. So it's a different feeling. It's a sad they're gone, but it's the nature of life. Yeah, I'll go stop by and see if I can get a good chunk of change for this. Just these three right here. No more than that. That's like a whole half a paycheck from me. Maybe I can wait it out and we'll see where silver keeps going. Maybe it goes to $200. Who knows? What's everybody's plans? Anybody else snowed in to the point where they can't get anywhere? How you living? Luckily, I mean, all things granted, no power outages at all with this snowstorm. At least not for my house. You know, heat's been on. You know, I've had the faucet running a little bit just to make sure that the pipes don't freeze. So I mean, you know, hey, it could be worse. And I mean, I've done plenty of driving, haven't had any issues. You know, I think people just, I don't know, like they need to take their time. And I guess there's maybe like a mental blockage with like how momentum works and all this stuff, because I just don't. I understand accidents happen, but a lot of the things that I saw in my neighborhood, completely preventable. Like the other day, I was trying to get out of the neighborhood and I had to go up a hill, and you know, some idiot was blocking the road, so I couldn't. I had to reverse instead of just sitting there and trying to go around them and sliding. I reversed back down the hill, and then let him go, and then regained momentum to get back up. I feel like too many people just don't understand that it's okay to go backwards. It's okay to go backwards. Now, if you don't have like a camera or something, I guess you're a little bit more scared of, you know, slipping out from underneath you and not being able to know where you're going. But I'm in Virginia, so we didn't get hit as bad as the weather was saying. The weather was saying that we were going to get like 19 inches of snow. We didn't get 19 inches of snow. I would say we got, you know, 5, maybe a little bit more. And the issue that's been happening with the past couple of days is the thawing and refreezing. I mean, it was a ice sheet in my neighborhood. I'm talking a thick, you know, 3 inches of ice all the way through. And this morning I just broke out a mallet. I'm just chipping away slowly down my driveway, trying to build at least like a, you know, a 1.5 to 2 foot gap, you know, just for my tires to be able to go up and down my driveway. So that way, hopefully tonight when I get home, I don't have the same issue. And as well as that, I need to leave here, which really sucks. I'm gonna be closing at my restaurant. So I'm gonna be getting out of work at 10 o'clock. Is it 9 or 10? I think I get out at 9. Okay, 9:30. So yeah, I get out at 9:30. I need to get home fairly quickly, down some melatonin. I need to be out the door by like 4:30, 5 o'clock, because I'm heading up to Fredericksburg, meeting with my sister, and then we're gonna take her car the rest of the way, because my car needs some work. It needs an alignment, it needs brakes, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I can get to her house, but making that drive all the way up to the Veterans Cemetery up in DC is not gonna happen. Yeah, it's gonna be a busy day tomorrow. A lot of talking to family, all that kind of stuff, catching up. Said iced out everywhere. Can't even drive my car yet. Luckily, I've been able to get in and out, but I can't right now because everybody else is stupid. People are stuck in ditches and sitting in the middle of the road, and if I can't get to work, I'm gonna be so mad. I think my boss would understand, but once again, it's a money thing as well, and I'm trying to get into management, so the less excuses I have, the better. He said 6 inches of snow in Wyoming. That is Wyoming, right? I don't know what that initial is. But roads are clear, just cold and 1 degree. Yikes. Yikes. Good to see you still going strong. It's been a while since the hype several years ago. Hope you're doing great. We're doing great. We're absolutely doing great. It was rough. I would say the past 2.5 years Some of it was due to just my own issues, and then I had a lot going on family-wise, and but no, I started a job, because I was doing DoorDash, just to keep up with everything, and because I don't know if you have been here for all the talks, but messed up on my taxes pretty bad, so trying to make up for those mistakes. So I started a job at Firebirds, which is a restaurant, and I like the people there, and they like me, and I've been moving up in management, so maybe in a couple months I get hit with a salary contract, and I can get out of all the debt that I'm in, start building up my equity, and start compounding some accounts again, and hopefully do things correctly this time. By looking all grown up, you mean receding hairline? Man, can we go back to the good old days? Listen, it might not come across on camera here, but we're chilling. Not bad. It's not that bad, but I've been using minoxidil, and I'm probably about to go through my shedding phase, which I don't know how bad that can get, but let's hope not. We haven't had anything in Iowa since December. Good for you. Good for you. He said, what video games you playing these days? Haven't been playing much video games. I'm either working or hanging out with people. And I've been having a great time. So, when I get home, I might watch some TV or something. I might just be getting old here. That'll probably change a little bit in the future. I need to make sure I'm talking to my friends, stuff like that. But as far as like the most recent games, I can pull up my Steam here and just show you. Let's see. So I got solo leveling. I played 17 minutes of it. Counter-Strike, if I have time, I'll hop on, play a game or two with some friends. Arc Raiders, same thing. Probably a couple matches, just mess around. When I nobody's on, I'll just kind of boot up Spider-Man and just swing around, just have some fun. Borderlands 4, we played through that. When the DLC comes out, I'll be excited to come back to it. I know they had some performance updates, so I'm more than willing to play that again. I really liked it. I think if they didn't have the performance issues, it would have been very, I don't think there would have been a single bad thing that most people would say about it. Yeah. Said, life's sometimes rough when it hits. Fucking all grown up. He said, same here, wait for the gray hair. Since I'm blonde, I think the gray hair might actually go hard. Give it a little bit of lightning effect. You need to talk to us. We're your friends. Tron, you're not even here for me. You're here for fish. The first thing you say when you join the live stream, you said, where's the dog? Not, hi, Kite. How are you doing today? How's your life been? Let's catch up. Here's what I've been up to. No. Just show me the dog. He's in his kennel now. I actually don't leave his kennel open, but yeah, he wanted in there, so I left it open today. You said it's been negative 20 here lately? At that point, do you even feel the cold? I feel like you just walk outside and immediate frostbite. And you're just moving. Said, okay, but he needs you to take care of him, so you are a little bit important. Thank you. Thanks. I appreciate that. I'm important because of what I can give to the dog. You said, is Fish still around? Of course. Are you insinuating that he's dead? No, he's right here. He's being a little man. He's being very, very slow today. Maybe he's finally old man now. Oh wait, hold on. He wants to say hello. Oh, he got camera shy. Come back. There you go. That's all you get. You gotta pay. You gotta pay the tax if you want. If you want, and all the tax goes to his food. Okay. Okay, go lay down, Sleepy. Go lay down. Go lay down. You're gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna hurt yourself. Go.
Virtue in the old sense of the word, a strength. As when we talk about the healing virtue.
Does Fish still have anxiety when you leave the house? Is he still scratching? He doesn't scratch anymore, but just nonstop barking. I mean, he probably has the most muscular vocal cords out of any living being on the planet right now. He has to be tested because he doesn't stop. He does not stop. The most I've ever heard him is he kind of goes into like a howl, which that's really weird because he doesn't do that normally. But I mean, I don't leave him alone for like forever. And I mean, from my standards, he's living life. Food, water, AC, comfy couch. I even put on Netflix for him. You know? I tried putting on like dog TV, but I feel like that's just a weird YouTube thing. I don't think it actually works. But like Disney movies and stuff, like the animated ones, he actually watches those. Now, his eyeball's kind of messed up. So, yeah, I don't think he likes to watch it for too long because his eyes go like this. So if he tries to focus on the screen, I think it hurts him. But he'll side eye it, which is, I guess, okay. He said, I took a Bitcoin short at 90,490 nearly an hour ago. Crackhead time frame, 5-minute ABC setup. Have we learned nothing? 5-minute time frame. I mean, I see it. Not something I would take. Well, maybe the old me would take that, but I ain't touching that. I'm not touching that. Because, I mean, if we are going to continue back downwards, I mean, there's a good chance that, like, it's probably going to do something like this and then come back down. But we'll see. We'll see how it acts. Now, I really hope that, you know, when we get down to, if we do happen to form the long, that our chart starts to look something like this. So A to B to C as we move downwards. We go down, we retest, 74,000, 76,000, and then we come back up, and then we get something like that. And that would allow us to have a much, much shorter range. Our short would then be here. Our long would be here. And pretty much any way it wants to move, because then we would have full availability to go all the way up to like 118,000. That's our I mean, besides the local high that we set in at 97K, the previous local high would be these two here, one at 107 and one at 116,000. That would be kind of where I would expect us to retest if we are going to build a macro range before having kind of a dump to the downside. Now, it could be very similar to what happened in 2017. Do I have that date correct? Over here. Okay, that was 2019. 2017 was when we started this one. So I was thinking of this one. But essentially something kind of like these two here. These were descending triangles right here and right here. where it kind of builds a flat bottom and then we have that final dump outwards. I would probably be expecting something like that if we did happen to build a consolidation range. So we would probably, this would set in our low down here, and then we would come back up to like 108, and then kind of just keep working our way down like that, and then finally have the dump down to 49 to 50,000. I mean, I talked about it in length. I do, like, I'm not, like, sold on the idea that we're going to go down to, this local low here at, 39,000. I just do think that it's a slight possibility. So if we get down to 52, 54, somewhere in that region, the way that crypto tends to work is there's usually some sort of shakeout. There's usually some sort of panic button that gets hit. And we see, a flash crash to the next local low, and then a quick recovery. So you'll have to wait a little bit on that, but possibility. Many, many, many months in the future, probably towards the end of the year, is when we'll get some sort of resolution on whether or not any of that's going to happen. Said I'm short from 94.4, but took it like weeks ago. And that's the same. Yeah, 94.4 is where mine is as well. I mean, I caught it pretty much exactly because I got stopped down and I started watching the chart, and we came back down pretty quickly. I'll move my clothes over to the dryer. Dude, I need to go check and see if the road is clear. I think it was a little bit too late for VDOT to start moving into our neighborhood. But I think we've had so many issues because my neighborhood is very hilly. There's, every street is a hill because we live on pretty much a mountain. So I think they made a special case for us to come in and at least help these people to get their cars out of these ditches. Mindset grew as well, huh? Good to see. Training can be very relaxing. It can. I mean, to me, the way I always put it was, the way that I trade might not be the most aggressively profitable. But long term, because of the way that I approach the market, I'm going to make less mistakes. And mistakes are really where you lose most of your profit. So if I give myself more time to think about what I want to see from the market, and then as well as that, watch the formations as they happen, I'm less likely to do something stupid like DCA into a loss or this or that. I'm not trying to chase anything because it happens so slowly that I have time to react and then plan. And obviously ABCs, it being a chart-based strategy, I don't need to rely on an indicator. Once I get an A and a B, I know a C is a possibility, so I can plan it out.
I buy a gun and bar my door because I know there's a storm of hypocrisy brewing.
Just remembered I meant to ask you how your hedging works. I feel like I explain this every single stream, but at least it gives me something to talk about. Like how to avoid a swing that stops out both trades. You can't. You can't do that. All right. If for whatever reason the market wants to whipsaw you, one, either you're trying to hedge micro time frames, or you are just the most unlucky person in the world. But let me run you through it. And that's the thing. You are not in control. There is nothing you can do that is going to prevent you from having a bad time in the market. Nothing. So what can you do? Work with it. Notice the changes in momentum. Take risk where risk is necessary. And then from there, you just work yourself through it. There's going to be bad times where it just doesn't seem to work out in your favor. But there's going to be great times where you get the perfect scenario. And I'll show you what the perfect scenario looks like. But essentially, let's say you have an ABC top. All right. So you're going to be taking a short position here. All right. So you take your short. You set up your stop loss, whatever that might be. You set up your leverage, blah, blah, blah. And then normally we would target somewhere around like the 0.441, kind of in between the 0.5 and the 0.382 on Fibonacci's. Me personally, as I went through that, I noticed that there was times where there could have been so much more money made. I was like, what am I doing wrong? Why is it going way past this? So what I started to realize was pretending like where there's going to be a bottom or there's going to be a top is one of the most stupid things you can do. Everybody wants that to be a reality because, of course, if you could short the top, take your profit at the bottom, long the bottom, and then, take profit at the next top, you would be a billionaire. But you can't. So you have to work with the market. You have to let it do whatever it needs to do and don't put limitations on it. Taking profit is putting a limitation. So how do you work through a market if you can't take profit? Well, you hedge. And when I talk about hedging, people that are greedy, when they look at my chart and I explain it, they go, well, when you hedge, you don't make any money. That's not the point of hedging. The point of hedging is the money has already been made. You are already in profit. All you're doing is making sure that you never lose it. Now, can you still lose it? Sure. All right. We don't live in a perfect world, but majority of the time, no. Once you get the two positions, you're pretty much locked in. You're going to walk away with something. So you take your short position and then the market moves down. And let's say, it moves down here and then we form a long position. So now you're going to have two opposing positions. So if the market comes back up and triggers the long, well, then you take your long position. And this is the part where I said people get greedy. So they see this and they go, well, now between these two entry points, I'm not making any money. But you're already up on the short. But when you take the long, it's going to be in the ballpark of a 1-to-1 ratio. Now, obviously, a short and a long are not equivalent in terms of percentages. So there is a slight variation, but for all intents and purposes, it's going to be a 1-to-1. So for every dollar lost on the short, if the price goes back up, $1 will be made on the long as it goes up. So now you're kind of in this perfect position. So either a couple different things might happen. We might, blast off to the moon, and then your long will supersede your short position, and now you're making new money as you get stopped out. Where you go, I don't want to get stopped out. I don't want to lose money. Stop. If you think that way, you will not get anywhere. So with this, you now have pretty much a guaranteed position. If, we get a slight retest on the uphand and then a strong continuation to the downhand, once you get stopped out of your long position, now your short is now starting to make new money. And it could go very long periods of time. When FTX crashed and, that whole scandal happened, I was in a short position, but I didn't, take profit on it because why would I? I didn't know that FTX was going to crash. I didn't know that they were going to go bankrupt, but it affected the market. And I was in a short position and people were asking me, why was I short? Because there was an ABC and there was no reason for me not to be short. The market told me that something bearish was going to happen, and I didn't know what. So the perfect scenario is where the price will come back up ever so slightly, and then we are going to form a new short position. So when we form a short, Now, it needs to be of a comparable size. It doesn't need to be the exact size. It just needs to be decent. I would say at least half or 75% the size of the original position. If you get that, what you can do is now we can go ahead and as soon as, I'm not talking when the ABC confirms, as soon as we put in the higher high and form an ABC, you can now take profit on the original short position. And then if this one folds over and confirms, you can now take a new one. So now you are taking all of this profit off the board, you know, within this range here. I know it's messy. I'm like a third grader here, just drawing crappy images. But all of that profit is now in the clear. You have it. It's yours. It's in your account. And now you have a very simplistic, you know, shorter range here between these 2 points, between here and here. So now your range is much shorter. So the profit potential is much higher for whichever direction the price decides to go. So that's the perfect scenario. You're working your way through the market as it happens. You're moving your positions where it makes sense to move them to. And then from there, you work through it. Now, someone asked the question, like, what if we get to a top and we don't form an ABC? It's going to happen. We're going to have dead cat bounces where we just explode back to the upside. It's going to happen. No matter what. You cannot have a perfect system where it's going to work flawlessly every single time and get you exactly what you want. But the majority of the time, it should. From my experience. As well as that, this type of strategy is built off the idea that the best loser wins. All right? Because when you make money with this, you should be making a lot of money with this. Now, obviously, depending on the size of your account, it might not seem like a lot of money, but percentage-wise, additive to your portfolio, it will be. And then when you lose, okay, just getting stopped out once, twice, 3, 4 times, trying to get an entry, it should be minuscule amounts. It shouldn't be something that impacts you dearly. So if you're using 5%, 10% risk and you're getting stopped out 5 times, of course you're going to be screaming at me and be like, this doesn't work. It does. Stop using half of your portfolio as risk. So you can take the same exact thing, flip it on its head, and now you have this the perfect scenario for a long position. So you were talking about, you know, what if we get to a top and we don't have an ABC position? All right, so when would that have happened? Okay, so right here, we were in an uptrend, and we didn't get an ABC top, but eventually we came down, and we put in one right here. Just be patient. Just be patient. So yeah, maybe you didn't get the exact top. You got pretty damn close. And there was another one kind of like right here, depending on how lenient you are with wicks. There was another one right here. There was another one right here. You know, we go all the way up here. Boom, another one right here. Just have to be patient. And then look at all the ABC long positions on this uptrend. One here, one here. Really didn't get any sizable one up here, to be honest with you. It would have to be like a smaller time frame, like right here or right here. But then, yeah, the top of the market was an ABC right here. Look at the top of the bull market from the previous cycle. The entire thing was an ABC top, and I didn't want to believe it. I looked at it and I said, wouldn't that be crazy if the entire thing was just one big ABC? And it was. But I couldn't wrap my... I felt like it would have been hubris for me to sit here and say, this is the top of the market. It's an ABC. Don't you see it? But then looking at it in retrospect, I'm like, I'm smart. I should have believed in myself. But we still caught the downwards trend. We caught it from this point here because we had a very nice ABC structure, and I caught the rest of that short all the way down. But yeah, there's not going to be anything perfect that happens, but if you work with it, you'll be fine.
If we realize that that is so, it gives us a breather in the course of which we may simply Watch what is going on. Watch what happens. Nobody ever does this. Nobody ever does this. Watch what is going on.
I remember you called that on Ryan's channel. Yeah.
Nobody ever does this.
I respect Ryan in many different circumstances, but we never saw eye to eye on crypto. He was very passionate. I just wanted to look at a chart. Now, like when it comes to risk to reward, we can talk about risk to reward all day. So KDA, it does feel bad that happened. You know, one from like a social perspective, obviously a lot of people were like, well, if Kite's talking about it, then of course it's going to be great. That was never my intentions. It was never my intentions to be like, you know, this thing is going to go. It was a simple matter of risk to reward, and I hope I conveyed that well to a lot of people, that there was potential there. There really was. You know, in terms of like the market cap to supply, you know, the previous bull market top of it. I felt like the team was there, so I hate that it went down the way that it did, but it was a simple matter of risk to reward. It was nothing more. It wasn't overhyping something and being like, this is the future and blah, blah, blah. It's so anybody that did get hurt on that, I'm very sorry, but that's the way things go.
It is not material. The real world is simply
Yeah, hopefully I answered your question. You said I'm curious on how you know when to close each trade. You kind of just wait for one to get stopped out, essentially. But yeah, like I said, it's a matter of waiting for the market to make a new bearish position. Because if the market's going to maintain a bearish structure and you're trying to short essentially from the beginning, you want to do it from the closest point. That way you shorten up the range and the profit potential now heightens. Good lesson. I stopped believing in alts after KDA. Everybody gets there at some point. It's a matter of time. You know, people want to sit here and be like, no, I'll never be a Bitcoin maxi. I'll never be a Bitcoin maxi. Fast forward 6 years later. Broken hearts everywhere. Meme coins in graves. And, you're like, hey, I should have just stuck with Bitcoin the entire time. I mean, there's other things you can touch. You can touch Ethereum. You can touch Litecoin. Stuff that's been long established, I think, is okay to kind of mess around with. But if you're one of those people that seriously look at a meme coin and go, man, we're on to something with this one. I'm sorry to say, we are not speaking the same language at all. Not even in the slightest. I'll have conversations with you about it, but I don't think I'll ever get to the point where I can see what you see. Because like, it's okay, listen, I'm not saying that it's never bound to happen. I'm sure there's going to be something that comes along, and yes, it does revolutionize things. It adds something new, and it does take off. And I'm sure that once it gets to a certain point, I'll be able to notice it. Like Ethereum. Like once Ethereum got to like a couple $100, and like you get a real feeling that like, okay, this is something here. But there hasn't been another coin that screams that to me. Now, I'm sure some of you guys might have a coin that's very similar to that. But to me, I, one, don't have the time to be sitting here and doing background research on every single little thing that pops up. But I just want to live a very simple life now. I don't want to be sitting here on the 5-minute time frame worrying about an altcoin anymore. I feel like that's where I probably lost all my hair. You know, that's where it all started from. It was me staying up for 36 hours hoping to not lose money, and I still did. Ryan, what's going on, man? You said good morning. Good morning to you. What time is it where you at, Ryan?
geniuses would be a dime a dozen. And then we would say, well, these people are after all not very ingenious. You know, PhDs, how many of them are there? Because what is
The best loser wins. Tom would be proud. I hope I get to meet Tom Hugard one day. That would be a very special occasion.
he surprises. The great things that you
Yep. Maybe like 10 more minutes. And I do have to go get my dryer started. I'm probably going to do a little bit of a lap around the neighborhood and see who's still stuck in a ditch. See if I can actually get out. I don't want to miss work today. One, I get a free meal today. The boy's kind of broke. So, free meal. And listen, like, okay, if I worked at a McDonald's and I got a quote-unquote free meal, I wouldn't be, like, hyped about it. But, you know, I work at Firebirds. Firebirds has good food. So, to get a free meal out of that, I can't get, like, a ribeye. They would kill me if I got a ribeye. But I usually get, like, the salmon. I feel like that's my go-to. I'll short the out of a mean coin though. No, just this weather outside is so nasty. Just from like my front yard's perspective. Like I said, once you get on the roads, it's clean and green. Well, I guess not green, but I remember the day everything started. The morning after the snow fell. I usually have like a way that I get to work, and I got like 40% there, and I tried to turn onto this one road. Oh. That wasn't happening. I had to go a completely opposite way. But it all worked out. I went sledding for the first time in I don't even know how long. Probably since I was like 8 years old. And that was fun. Luckily, didn't break anything. I fell down my stairs again this morning. Harder than I did yesterday. Yesterday it was like a ooh, I took a little tumble. Today I fucking oh my dude, I landed on my kneecap, and then I tried to get up, couldn't get up, so I had to like scoot to where there was like solid asphalt and get up there. And then at that point I'm already outside, so I still just got my little mallet and just started breaking the ice while I'm hurting. It and this time my neighbor was looking at me, but it was an actual fall. So it wasn't that one was embarrassing. The one yesterday, I that was that was so funny. Haha. I'm so clumsy. Today I just ate shit. And I know that I'm going to be feeling it all day and all tomorrow. Now, luckily, on KDA, I'm pretty sure I conveyed this. I sold Spot. Once the ability to trade leverage, I forgot if it was on LBank or buy DeFi. That's what I went with, and I actually did end up making a little bit of money, which I try not to like gloat about because I know some people lost. So. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. It's probably gonna hurt pretty bad tonight after walking around and standing. Which I'm gonna have to tell one of my bosses, because they're fighting over me. So one boss wants me to be what they call a guest relations manager, where when people are upset, I go to the table. And I go, he was like, "You're great at that. People don't get mad at you." And I'm like, "It's because of my cherubic face." And he loved that. Which I probably shouldn't have said that, because now he wants me to do it even more. And then the other boss wants me to run like the kitchen window. So when one of them is working, they want me doing this specific thing, and then when another one's working, they want me to doing just the other thing. I'll be honest, I like working the window more, but I guess I do need to get better at all of it if I want to actually do anything with it. Still need to get food today. I didn't get food because I can't get out of my neighborhood, and all I have here is frozen stuff. It isn't even mine. So maybe if I get to work a little bit early, they'll let me grab my meal before I start working. I don't have to spend any money. I wonder what's Ryan up to. I know Ryan went like kind of like extremely right wing at the end there. And then it's I don't know where he stands at this point in time. I don't know what his ideologies are, but I hope he's having a great life. I know he's over in El Salvador, which honestly did look appetizing to move there at one point, just because they're so pro crypto. Like, you can go anywhere and buy anything with it. The only thing you can do here is go to an ATM. Like, what are you supposed to do? I mean, you can buy cars on Craigslist with crypto. You can even go to like dealerships and they accept it, depending on how the volatility indicator is. No, I think once I end the live stream, I'm going to put my clothes in the dryer, which that'll take about an hour. I might head over to the pawn shop and see what he's going to quote me for these. Because if he gives me... I think the lowest I'll accept is $90 a piece. I feel like that's respectable for a pawn shop, if that's all they're willing to offer. I know I can get more, but like, at the end of the day, money is money. So if I get 90 for each of these, that would be 270. It feels so good to hold these, especially now that they're worth something. And like I said, I think that silver. Someone yesterday, I don't know who it was, said that silver seems like it's overpriced right now. I think it's extremely underpriced. We talked about that. Silver is one of the most manipulated markets on the planet. It is controlled by ETFs that are artificially increasing the supply. There is not enough silver to meet all of the cash-ins if people actually wanted their physical silver. And if that ever happened, silver would go astronomical and gold would follow. How are you broke if you know trading? Interest. Debt and interest. That's what is making me broke. Because so at some point the debt from the taxes and some other things grew to such an extent that I was having to I had to start withdrawing money from my accounts. And yeah, like when I made a good trade, I would make like a couple thousand and I would be able to, stay afloat. But then it just got to a point where like the compounding of the account wasn't happening. And here's something that no other YouTuber is going to tell you. If you want to be a full-time trader where your only job is trading, the minimum I would think that you would need is $600,000 in a trading portfolio. I'm not talking about your net equity across your spot and your leverage and your swing trading and this and that. I'm talking about all of it. $600,000. And kind of how I've come to that conclusion is, let's say, for example, that you have a bad year, because you can't base everything off of your good years. You have to base them off of your bad years. Now, I've been trading ABCs long enough to know that I really haven't had a bad year yet, but I'm sure there's going to be one. So, yes, when I say this, people are going to freak out and they're going to be like, only 10%? But let's say that there's a case scenario where all you make on the year is 10%. All right, so if you have $600,000, that's going to be $60,000. I would say that half of that 10%, so $30,000, 5% of that, of the total, needs to be back in your portfolio to compound to make it easier to hit your goals next time. All right, so that leaves you with 30 grand. So if you're single, have no debt, a good living situation, I think you should be able to make it on $30,000. Now, obviously, $30,000, probably minus your taxes, you're probably looking at somewhere around like 25 to 24,000. If you're lucky and you have some deductions, and you should have some deductions if you have a home office and all this stuff. $24,000, depending on where you live, if you're single, should get you by. Now, are you going to have the greatest life? Probably not. Like, you're not going to have a lot of fancy things. But I've had those things, and they don't make you happy. So I think I would be comfortable, but comfortable is subjective. When I talk to my friend Isaiah, if he doesn't have nice things, he's not comfortable. He's like, if I'm not making $90,000 a year, then I feel like shit. And I'm like, I would say, in order for me to have like a completely comfortable life currently, I'm not talking about in the future when like inflation takes over and like things need to be adjusted, but I would say like if I had $50,000 a year, no debt, I think that is a perfectly fine life. Yeah, I feel like you would have enough money to go do some nice things, have some good trips, and be able to kind of live life in a respectable manner where it's not too over the top and you kind of feel like shit by the end of it. Now, we all like money. That's why we're here. We love money. I love making money. I like the process of making money more than I like money now, if that makes sense. Silver will still go. Read the JPM story. I'm more than positive. I mean, someone asked me the other day, like, where do I think silver is going? I think it's going up. I mean, look at the chart. It's going up. And to me, I'm not in the business anymore of trying to predict a top. We are in a parabolic trend. Now, all we can really do is look at the trend itself and kind of guesstimate. Okay. Like, we're hitting pretty much a vertical curve right now. So at some point, I would say within the foreseeable future, we are probably going to be coming to an end here shortly, or at least a consolidation, I would say. But I mean, we have hit a parabolic curve to the point where we're going to be hitting a wall here soon. I do think some sort of retest is in order. And of course, as I always say, if you want a healthy bull market, you need to create local lows. You need to create places of support. So that way, when we do happen to fail, because we will fail at some point, where are we going to go? If we don't have those supports, well, we're going to go pretty far back down. And nobody likes that. Nobody likes that. That you know a guy? I used to travel to an NC to find them. Find what? What did I say? FOMC meeting in 19 minutes. Let me break my little... Still signed in over here. Oh, yeah. I'm excited to see that metals are performing. I feel like that was something that was really lagging behind these last couple of years. So it's nice to see. And, of course, nice to see for my pockets as well, because we got a bag. Where are we sitting? Oh, pawn shop. I don't personally know any of the pawn shops around me, but I want to go and check some out. So I was saying earlier that I have these 1 ounce silver coins. I have 3 of them on me, but I have a lot more stashed somewhere else. And currently, every ounce of silver is worth $100, $113. So if I can find like a reputable pawn shop that's willing to pay me at least close to that, I could sell a couple of these. Just to help ends meet a little bit. Couple pawn shops around here. This one, there's got one up close near me. Do they only deal with gold though? We buy gold. Do they do silver as well? Cash for gold. Maybe I'll give them a call. That way I don't have to go in. Because I don't even know if they're open right now with the snow. Yeah, I'll give them a call after the stream. They buy gold. Well, why wouldn't they buy silver? Okay. Excels in purchasing gold, silver, platinum, and diamonds, offering top dollar since 2011. Okay. Fantastic. Fantastic. That sounds like a plan. Watch Jerome Powell speak. I mean, I guess we got a little bit of time here. What about Jerome? Their live stream. Here we go.
Participants wrote down their individual assessments of an appropriate path of the federal funds rate under what each participant judges.
You already got people in chat talking about silver 125 by tomorrow.
Projects that the appropriate level of the federal funds rate will be 3.4% at the end of 2026 and 3.1%.
Yeah, let me turn down the music here.
From September. As is always the case, these individual forecasts are subject to uncertainty, and they're not a committee plan or decision. Monetary policy is not on a preset course.
A part of me does find joy that the guy that's in charge of pretty much the money
related to the implementation of monetary policy.
In some
With the
ways, he
reminder
looks
that
like a
these issues are
goblin.
separate from,
Goblins
and
are
have no
real,
implications
and this
for
man is proof.
the stance of monetary policy.
He's a money goblin, and that's why he has that job.
Tightening in money
Look at him.
market interest rates relative to our administered rates. And
Like, you're
other
gonna look at
indicators
this
of
guy's
reserve
ears
market
and tell me
conditions.
that he's not a goblin.
The committee
All right,
finds that
he's
reserve
doing.
balances have declined to
Okay, I'm
annual
not gonna go
lows.
that far.
Accordingly, at today's meeting, the
We
committee
love
decided
him.
to
We love
initiate
Jerome
purchases
Powell,
of
don't we?
shorter-term Treasury
Such a
securities,
great
mainly
guy.
Treasury bills, for the sole
Such
purpose
a
of
great guy.
maintaining an ample supply of reserves over time.
Trying to
Such
butter him up
increases
so
in
that I can
securities holdings ensure
I can get in
that
the
federal
club.
funds rate remains within its target range and are necessary because the growth of the economy leads to rising demand over time for our liabilities, including currency and reserves. As detailed in a statement released today by the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, reserve management purchases will amount to $40 billion in the first month and may remain elevated for a few months to alleviate expected near-term pressures in money markets. Thereafter, we expect the size of reserve management purchases to decline, though the actual pace will depend on market conditions. In our implementation framework, an ample supply of reserves.
I've seen clips of
means that
Ryan's
the federal funds
content
rate and
shared
short-term
on
interest
some
rates are
big
primarily
conspiracy
controlled
channels.
by the setting of our administered rates, rather than day-to-day discretionary interventions.
I do feel
in
like
money markets.
Ryan
In this
shifted to
regime,
that
standing
type of
repurchase agreement
content
or repo
because
operations are a critical
it
tool
got more
to ensure
traction.
that
I don't
federal funds
necessarily
rate
know if he
remains within
believed
its
in all the
target range,
ideas he was
even
talking
on
about.
days of elevated pressures in money
And that's what I was
markets.
afraid of.
Consistent with this view, the committee
I just didn't feel like
eliminated the
he
limit on
genuinely
standing
believed
repo
some of it.
operations.
Not all of it,
Operations are
some of it.
intended to support monetary policy implementation and smooth market functioning, and should be used when economically sensible. To conclude, the Fed has been assigned two goals for monetary policy: maximum employment and stable prices. We remain committed to supporting maximum employment, bringing our inflation sustainably down to our 2% goal, and keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Our success in delivering on these goals matters to all Americans. We understand that our actions affect communities, families, and businesses across the country. Everything we do is in service to our public mission.
I wish this live stream was
At
just
the Fed,
like
we will do everything we can to
straight up.
achieve
It was
our
like,
maximum employment and
things are
price stability
bad.
goals.
they're gonna get
Thank you,
worse.
and I look forward to your questions.
Howard.
Thank you. Howard Schneider with Reuters. Just first turning to the statement, just to be clear, we're on the same page here. The insertion of the phrase, considering the extent and timing of additional adjustments, does that indicate that the Fed is now on hold until there's some clearer signal from inflation or jobs or the evolution of the economy along the baseline outlook?
So, yes, the adjustments since September bring our policy within a broad range of estimates of neutral. And as we noted in our statement today, we are well positioned to determine the extent and timing of additional adjustments based on the incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks. That new language points out that we'll carefully evaluate that incoming data. And also, I would note that having reduced our policy rate by 75 basis points since September and 175 basis points since last September, the Fed funds rate is now within a broad range of estimates of its neutral value, and we are
Where's the
well-positioned
orange
to wait
man?
to see how the economy evolves.
This chat is off
If
the
I could
wall.
follow up on the outlook there. It's
Do real people even watch this stuff anymore? I feel like. Can you imagine if the type of people that were in this chat right here? I know you can't see it because my face is in the way, but if this chat was the equivalent of who's in this room, oh my goodness, it would be so much fun to watch. All right, I got some stuff to do. I'm gonna call that pawn shop and see what they'll give me. We'll see what we get. But yeah, I appreciate you very much. And we'll play some Alan Watts on the outro today. So if you want some good things to listen to, you can have that. But yeah, let's go ahead and let's pack it up and say goodbye. And then we'll do the thing and we'll head out. Food, Sex, Power. That's a good one. Play that one on the outro. I'm pretty sure, last I knew, Ryan was in El Salvador. I think he has a place there now. I mean, he could have just been over there for whatever. I know he was in Abu Dhabi. He had some bodyguards with him, which I don't imagine Ryan ever having bodyguards with him. But I guess. If things ever got to the point where I need bodyguards, I'm probably backing out. I don't want it to be like that. Share the playlist? You should be able to. So, I mean, I have a couple different ones. So, if you just look up Alan Watts, you'll find Watts Wave 2, How to Be a Better Person. There's a lot of his talks just put into song form. Of course, just look up Alan Watts on YouTube. I mean, you shouldn't have to have them turned into music in order to listen to them, but it does help. But here, I'll share this. I'll share. This is the playlist from Spotify that I got transferred over. So let me go ahead and pop that in the chat here. Where is this one? This one does help. Oh. And then from there, you should be able to go and find a lot of my other saved playlists if they're public. I'm not sure which ones are and which ones aren't. For some reason, this playlist has 910 views. So hopefully people like it. You can rent a bodyguard in New York City? Wow. I feel like I would have to really know my bodyguard. I feel like I wouldn't trust some dude I just paid $200 an hour to protect my life. Because to me, a bodyguard is literally a bodyguard. Like, it's to the extent that, like, they will jump in front of a bullet. I'm not looking for someone just to beat somebody up if they step to me. Like that, you could pay a thug on the side of the street to do that. So why do I need a bodyguard to do that? All right, let's go ahead and head out for today. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you soon. Like I told you many times before, I can't guarantee it's definitely not going to be tomorrow because I'm not going to be here tomorrow. But yeah, as soon as something major happens in the market or I have a little bit of free time to jump on, I will be here. I can promise that because we've been feeling great. We've been feeling good. And I want that to come across in how I do pretty much everything, including YouTube. So I'll see you when I see you. Let's go ahead and do the thing and jump off here. Bye!
So, in the same way, we find that the watching self, or the observing self, behind all our thoughts and feelings, is itself a thought. That is to say, when the police enter a house in which there are thieves, the thieves go up from the ground floor to the first floor. When the police arrive on the first floor, the thieves have gone up to the second. And so to the third, and finally out to the roof. And so when the ego is about to be unmasked, it immediately identifies with the higher self. It goes up a level. Because the religious game is simply a refined and highbrow version of the ordinary game. How can I outwit me? How can I one-up me? So, if I find, for example, that in the quest for pleasure, the ordinary pleasures of the world, food, sex, power, food, sex, power, all absorb myself in those pleasures. Food, sex, power. I absorb myself in literature, poetry, music, those pleasures. Food, sex, power. I absorb myself in literature, poetry, music. Food, sex, power. Literature, poetry, music. Food, sex, power. And after a while, they aren't the answer. So I go to psychoanalysis. And then I found out that's not the answer. I go to religion. But I'm still seeking what I was seeking when I wanted candy bars. I want to get that goodie. Only I see now that, of course, it's not going to be a material goodie. All material goodies fall apart. But maybe there's a spiritual goodie that's not going to fall apart. But in that quest, the quest is not different from the quest for the candy bar. Same old story. Only you've refined the candy bar, made it abstract and holy and blessed and so on. So it is with the higher self. The higher self's your old ego. And you sure hope it is eternal. Food, sex, power. I absorb myself in literature, poetry, music, those pleasures. Food, sex, power. I absorb myself in literature, poetry, music, those pleasures. Food, sex, power. I absorb myself in literature, poetry, music, those pleasures. Food, sex, power.
Then the great problem is how to get that higher self working. How does it make any difference to what you do and what you think? I know all kinds of people who've got this higher self going, practicing their yoga, but they're just like ordinary people. Sometimes a little worse. And they can fool themselves. Fool themselves. They can fool themselves. They can say, for example, well, my point of view in religion is very liberal. I believe that all religions have divine revelation in them. But I don't understand the way you people will fight about it. You fight and say that we, Jehovah's Witnesses, have the real religion. The real religion. Others say, well, we Roman Catholics have it. And the Muslims say, no, it is in the Quran. And this is the right way. This is the right way, isn't it?